Hey, my name's Brent, and today I'm going to do my Science in the Real World Journal number 2. And today I'm going to talk about this standard right here. It's a Georgia Performance Standard, S6E3. Students will recognize the significant role of water in Earth processes, and we're specifically concerned with this. Describe the composition, location, and subsurface topography of the world's oceans. Okay, and I have some activities set up that I would do for this standard. Here's the materials you're going to need for this. You're going to need, it doesn't have to be a laptop. If you got a smart board in your room or any kind of like an overhead, or if you just have computers in your room, anything that's got internet access, modeling clay or Play-Doh, either one works, a world map, and be sure it has the oceans on it. That's very important. And then you're going to need like a measuring cup, a pint, a quart jar, and a gallon. Okay, first I just want to go ahead and we'll start with composition. Ocean water is 3.5% salt. So 96.5% of our ocean is just plain water. Now in this, I would want my students to be able to understand, the composition of the ocean water. And so you're going to need to give them like a guide to start with. Let them know that 16 tablespoons equals 1 cup. And then you could use this as an example and let them figure out the other ones. For example, since there's 16 tablespoons in a cup, and you want 3.5% salt, what you'll do is you'll just take 16 and you'll times it by 0.035, because I've took a percentage and made it a decimal to be able to put it in the calculator. And as you click enter, you see the answer is 0.56. You can let them round off if you want to, but in other words, they're going to need to put half of a tablespoon into a cup to make like ocean water. Because, once again, the composition of ocean water is 3.5% salt. And so, this also gets into another standard that you can use, because they're going to have to convert from, figure out how many cups are in a pint, how many pints are in a quart, how many quarts are in a gallon. And the best thing to do is just let them stay in the tablespoon mode, and let them tell you how many tablespoons of salt you'd have to put in a cup, in a pint, a quart, and a gallon. Now this is probably going to be along the lines of a little more for your enrichment, probably your upper level students, but all this is going to be done in groups, so just try to group maybe your slower students that need more help with your enrichment students when doing this one. Okay, and then the next thing that the standard talks about is location. And here I have a world map, and like I said, it's important to have the oceans on it. And what you would do in this is I would just provide my students with like a worksheet and ask them like questions. Like, for example, what ocean completely surrounds the Hawaiian Islands? They're going to have to use the map and find the Hawaiian Islands, and then they can see it's completely surrounded by the Pacific Ocean. Or you can ask them, what ocean borders the western coast of Africa? And this gets them into reading a compass rose. They find Africa, and then they figure out what direction is west, and then they say, okay, this is West Africa, and then they can see that it's the Atlantic Ocean. So I would have a worksheet, I guess, of 10 to 20 questions asking, in this way they'd have to like actually identify certain landforms and then find the ocean, and that would help them learn exactly where they are located on the world map. Okay, and then finally, we're going to talk about topography of the ocean floor. Now, this is done in 2 parts because one part doesn't cover all of it. Let's start with back here on the computer. I'm going to go here, and this is a science up close application on the computer, and as you can see, you can move your mouse, and you see it kind of highlights it. Well, they can just click on it, and it even tells about it. If you don't want the speakers on in the class ready to distract from other students, you can just turn them off, because all it's doing is reading exactly what's wrote here. And so, and this identifies continental slope, your continental rise, your abyss plains, and then I believe I missed one. Yeah, the continental shelf, and it talks about those couple of parts of the ocean. But like I said, that doesn't cover everything for topography. So I said also take the modeling clay or like the Play-Doh, and what you could do here is get them to like make you an ocean floor. And it's good to have like different colors and everything, because you can give them directions on the board or whatever to, you know, make me, you know, the ocean floor, make mountains with the red, so that you'll know that they understand what a mountain is up under the ocean. Tell them to make valleys with the yellow or whatever, and this way they can make the whole ocean floor, and you can know for sure that they understand it by the different colors and everything. And this is just fun to do. And then the main thing too is that all of this is done. You're going to want to split your class up into groups. I mean, you're going to have one group at the laptop or the computer or whatever doing the topography. That on the application here, you have one group or 2 or 3 groups doing building the ocean floor. I actually have more than just one of these. I got a couple of these world maps. You could have a couple of groups doing the identification questions. And then it's according to how many supplies you have of this. If you can get a couple of, you know, gallons and pints and quart jars and stuff, and a couple groups could be, you know, making their own salt water and understanding, you know, how much salt is in the ocean. But all of this right here deals with that one standard. And if you do all of this in an activity one day and let the kids rotate, after, you know, during the class, you'll cover that entire standard, and they'll completely know the location, the composition, and the topography of the ocean. Once again, my name is Brent, and thank you for watching.